And welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Joining us now is Peter Kenneth. He is running for the Nairobi gubernatorial seat as an independent candidate. Welcome to Opinion Court.
Thank you very much.
We're going to start with the one-on-one and then head over where Edward Kisengani is waiting for us on the other side of the studio. But we're asking you this question tonight. Would you vote for Peter Kenneth as Nairobi's next governor? Please do text us 22422, our SMS line. And if you're online, you could send us your responses using the hashtag Opinion Court. We'll be collating them and giving you that poll result at the end of this program. So welcome to the show. Let's begin with, why did you shift your political base from Murang'a to Nairobi? Murang'a, an area where you have, of course, been an elected leader, particularly in Gatanga, and, seem to have a significant support base.
I think Nairobi offers also significant challenges, and having lived here all my life and seeing the pain that Nairobians go through on a daily basis, I thought probably it's fair, because I have the passion to sort out what the problems are. And therefore, I consulted widely and thought it was only right that I ran in Nairobi.
Did you consult the president?
I did not. And as you know, it's a democratic choice to run anywhere.
Right.
And I had a lot of friends in Nairobi, and we were seeing how Nairobi was going. It was going left, so to speak, and it offered challenges. And if you have passion to serve, then you want to go to where the problem is.
But there is the perception that your move was at the behest of certain powerful political forces.
I've heard about this, I've heard about Murang'a tycoons. I've never met any. So I think that is just some rhetoric. I made the choice myself.
All right.
Yes.
There's a feeling that you were also pushed out of the central Kenya region because of the very heated post-Kenyatta era succession politics that is taking place there.
I think for our country right now, we need to appreciate the hole we are in and need to look at 2017. I think it's a little far-fetched to look at 2022 and start looking at succession. I think we need to cross 2017. And once we've crossed that path, then people can talk about 2022.
And that might be your perspective. Do you think that was the shared perspective of area leaders?
I think when I said I would run in Nairobi, I said I would do a 10-year plan. Because Nairobi requires rescue. It's been run down in the last 4 years. And if we allow the rot to continue, then we'll be in a serious mess as a city.
What do you believe is the biggest challenge facing Nairobi residents?
There are many challenges, and Nairobi residents go through lots of pain. Take it from shortage of water, lack of healthcare facilities that are well equipped or have medicine. Look at schools that were performing as city council schools. Look at the traffic jams. Look at the pain that parents go on a daily basis, having to wake up at 4 in the morning to prepare their kids. And let's face it, Anne, just watch our kids go home at 3. They're all asleep in the vehicles because they woke up too early.
All right, so those are some of the things
there is a lot of pain. If you look at the hawkers, look at the license fees they are paying now, are you really encouraging them or sending them home without any sources of income? Because we never created markets for them. We knew that it is an informal sector that can help the economy, but we needed to build markets for them. And if you look at my plan, I've said that every constituency, because I intend to devolve, every constituency will have a market which is up to standard.
All right. The Nairobi Jubilee team, led by Mike Sonko, now has Polycarp Igave on his team. Does that complicate your chances to the extent that it cures some of the perhaps challenges that in perception that Mike Sonko had?
I think we are electing a governor, not a deputy governor, and that's very important. If you look at the constitution, the chief executive is the governor. Sugarcoating a choice or sanitizing a choice does not transfer the executive authority from the governor to the deputy governor.
Jubilee would argue you're electing a team. And a big team from Mike Sonko to, you know, Polycarp as deputy, Sakaja on the Senate ticket, etc.
You know, let's face facts as they are. Look at the current governor. He has a deputy. How much of that deputy do you really hear? Because the constitution is explicit that the decisions and the sole signatory is the governor. Therefore, for me, you are electing a governor, not a deputy governor. A deputy governor is somebody you work with as a team player and delegate, but the express authority remains with the governor.
All right. And this is what the would-be deputy for the Jubilee ticket was elected had to say about yourself and your candidacy. Let's listen to Polycarp Igabe.
The only competence that candidate you spoke about has is a pathological preoccupation with himself. He's narcissistic. He came in as a Jubilee candidate and announced to everybody that he will never run on any other ticket. Now he's announcing that he's an independent.
He's a narcissist.
Independent from what? And he knows Narcissus. You are a professor, you should know Narcissus. He died of looking in the mirror at himself.
Wow. So clearly not some very nice words for you, especially because of that pledge. You ran with Jubilee, you lost to Mike Sonko as far as the party is concerned, and the president, you know, even went as far as saying, look, whoever who has lost this particular race, stay within the party, we'll have a position for you. Why was that not good enough?
I think we all saw what happened on nomination, and I stated it on the same day that it was a sham. It was a sham, circular voting. So you could not have got a legitimate winner in that election. And I really don't want to respond to a candidate who has been brought in to show up the actual candidate. Because a running mate is somebody brought in to show the candidate. I have served the public sector for 15 years, diligently. People can say what I did and what my track is. This fellow just came in the other week. No, I'm very surprised. I think the people who revolve very quickly within a week, in my view, from my history, is only Simon Makonde, who was something within a week. I think the deputy running mate for Mike Sonko should first of all understand the ropes, understand the position he's been lured into, because he needs to understand that. He needs to understand he is not the one who is being elected. He needs to understand the person being elected will be the CEO. And let's face facts, sometimes it's good to look at the track of each other. I have my 15 years in public service. He has his years. We know where he was. He was in breweries. How did he leave breweries? He was in Hako Industries. We know what he did there.
What did he do there?
I don't have to say it here. The time will come. He was in vivo. There were all various complaints and what have you. The point is, I should really not be responding to him. My running mate, who I will unveil next week, will respond to him on certain issues. All right.
Because you've talked about your track record. One of the men you're running against in the gubernatorial race is Miguna, whose attack on you has been even more scathing. In an interview on Jeff Koinange Live on the 26th of April, he accused you of zero achievement in your 10 years as Gatanga MP. He said, quote, you failed to legislate. You cannot take credit for the CDF performance there. Let's listen to what Miguna had to say.
He did nothing in parliament. He failed in school. He looted Kenya Re. He opposed progressive things that would empower his own people in Gatanga. He did not legislate in parliament. And then he ran away from Nairobi to Gatanga. He was born in Nairobi. Why didn't he? No, but why didn't he contest in Bahati? So he went to Gatanga. He stayed there for 10 years. He said he did well. He was an assistant minister for 5 years. What did he do for Nairobi? Zero.
Okay.
So what I am saying to you, Peter Kenneth is a jiggered mind. Just like the title of this book.
Okay.
And the reason why he was showing that book is because he refers to an excerpt from it where the author who heads the anti-jigger campaign accuses you of, you know, impairing his efforts to help residents of Gatanga. What is your response to that?
It's very difficult to respond to a pathological lie in the name of Miguna.
He's a pathological liar?
Yes.
What he said is a lie?
Yes, he came to my office seeking funds to run for governorship. And I told him to fundraise, and the people he invited, nobody showed up.
He came to you seeking funds? He wanted you to sponsor him?
Yes, but let's face facts. I was an assistant minister for 10 years. Now, Miguna says he's a renowned lawyer. He knows members of the front bench do not introduce bills in parliament. They actually debate government bills because in a parliamentary system, if he was clever enough, he would have known what it is. That as an assistant minister, I'm on the side of answering questions, not legislating.
No, he was talking about your time as a legislator.
I was an assistant minister throughout. Yes, throughout. So I was a member of the front bench. Number two, he came here and alleged that I failed. In the same show, Jeff Koinange produced my results, right from CPE to O-level, A-level, my first degree and my second degree.
They were fake.
Well, we have institutions can verify, and that's why I said he's a pathological liar. Number three, on CDF, it is very well known, and the people of Gatanga can attest to this. Number four, I'm very, very proud of my time in Kenyari. I had a distinguished record. I left Kenyari 15 years ago. I created a foundation that placed Kenyari in the stock exchange, where the company still is, where the company is making profit. It's one of the blue chips in our stock exchange. I think he was confusing with Kenya National Corporation, which went under. I was CEO of Kenyari. Now, you want to compare my time? Somebody else in the name of Governor of Nairobi was CEO at Mumias. He left 4 years ago. It was in the stock exchange. The story does not need to be discussed here. It's all well written everywhere. So for me, you need to look at what somebody is saying and get the actual facts. In the US, they actually say the political barometer and show who lied and who didn't lie. If you put what Miguna said, it's all total lies.
Speaking of Dr. Evans Kidero, because you've gone there, and Senator Sonko, both have been adversely mentioned by civil societies and given the quote-unquote red card for, being declared unfit to hold public office, at least by the account of these institutions. Do you believe both should be disqualified from the elections?
I've always believed in having a fair, free and credible elections. I can speak for my integrity, I can speak for my passion, and I'm ready to be checked, counter-checked and tested. I am ready. But
do you believe that at least two of those you will be facing have questionable enough backgrounds that they should not be in the race?
I do not want to be the one to judge them. I've seen, just like you've seen, what has been said of them. I'm sure if we had institutions that dealt with integrity, they are a better place to deal with it. But this country requires leaders of integrity. This country requires leaders with passion to work for it. We are not in a good place. We need to think twice and have leaders with full integrity who can serve the population.
And we're just going to take a short break, and when we return, Edward Kisengani, our resident political analyst, joins our conversation. We're speaking to Peter Kenneth. Let's take in quickly the questions that you are sending in for him. Ask him how much Kidero paid him to split the Jubilee vote. Let's go one by one.
Kidero can't afford me.
He can't afford you.
I know he has squandered a lot of money in the Nairobi County. I have no reason to split. I'm offering a choice for Nairobians to see who can deliver services for them. I think at the end of the day, Nairobians need to put us on the weighing machine and decide who can deliver for them. I'm an independent candidate, so splitting Jubilee does not arise here.
But you were in Jubilee before.
And I left, and I have moved on. So I'm not splitting anything. I'm only saying, before nominations, Nairobians had pain, Nairobians had problems, those pains still exist. I still feel I have the same passion I had before the nominations, And I am willing to work for Nairobians. That's what I'm saying.
But even in your leaving of Jubilee, there are those who feel that all it amounts to is your lack of support for the president. First, by running against him in the previous election. Now, by defying his wishes to stick within the party and stay within Jubilee.
I think I ran in 2013 and I considered. And I said I would support him, and I've done that.
Are you supporting him now by running as an independent?
I am supporting him. That has not changed. But I would like Nairobians to have a proper free choice of those who can work for them. There are serious issues in Nairobi that needs to be sorted out.
Let's take in more questions. Why should a Nairobian youth vote for you?
Because I'll create hope and a conducive environment for them to get employed. I am really passionate about it.
How will you create that conducive environment?
The things that you asked me at the beginning that you can do for Nairobi, if I did that, if I eased congestion, if I provided water in Nairobi, and let me tell you, I'm very passionate about providing free water to the slums. And I'm sure...
That's a pledge. I'm asking about how practically you will do that. How do you end up giving it? Let's deal with water.
Let me tell you, and to build an economy does not take 3 months, 6 months. It's putting the right steps when you get in there.
Right, it's a plan.
And it takes time. The question here is, what will you do for the youth? I said I would like to create hope for them. I would like to create a conducive environment for them so that they can also enjoy being in Nairobi, knowing it can create hope for employment.
And what I am asking is, what are the practical steps? What is the game plan to get you there? You've spoken about water, free water.
Yes.
Let's just deal with that. How do you give the city free water?
I didn't say give the city free water. I said give free water to the slums.
Okay. How do you do that?
I know where the pipeline comes from. It comes from Gatanga, actually, at Ndakaine. I know how much water comes to Nairobi. I know how much water is lost on distribution. I know how much water is closed up so that the cartels can thrive. I am ready, more than ready, to deal with those cartels so that the pipeline can be free and flow water to all destinations in Nairobi. I am ready.
How will you get rid of those cartels?
You just have to be straight. As I said, you need leaders with integrity who have no reasons to feel beholden. I'm ready to do that.
Let's take in more questions if we have another. Where has he been after the 2013 elections, and who suggested to him that Jubilee as a party to vie for the Nairobi gubernatorial position? So you seemed a little quiet after 2013. Where were you?
I think I faced the same question here before when I came in a couple of weeks. Unfortunately for me, my host that night went back to my wall and found out I had actually been commenting for the last 4 years. I just chose not to politic on a daily basis, but I spoke on all the national ills affecting or afflicting our country. And with the new constitution, where the winner takes it all, the best you can actually do is also give that team time to do their own manifesto and comment as and when necessary.
And who suggested you to join Jubilee, the second part of that?
That was a free choice that I made.
Right.
Just like I made a free choice to leave after the sham elections.
All right. We'll continue with Peter Kenneth. On that side, Edward Kisingani is waiting for him. Stay with us.